Hi, I'm Ruben, and this video is going to be a little different from our other content. I'm going to share a very personal story about an incident that changed my life. It changed my business and changed my family. Have you ever had to deal with an arrogant, self-absorbed person, or have you tried to help someone but their pride just kept getting in the way? A few years back, I had to deal with the worst kind of arrogant, self-absorbed, prideful person. I was at a crossroads in my life and with my business. I wanted to buy out my business partner, but the business was struggling, and my wife and I had extra mouths to feed that year. That's when I met up at the country club with someone who I thought was my friend. Hey, this is Ruben coming to you from the future. Different shirt, lighting in the background's different. My hair's really outgrown and I need a haircut. Just a heads up, per advice from my lawyer, Gruck, and after a conversation with the subject of this video, I'll be interrupting this video in a couple of places just to provide some clarification because I don't want a lawsuit. Now, back to the story. We were catching up, trading stories when I decided to open up about my situation. In a moment of trust, I opened the floodgates and was totally vulnerable about my struggle. Now, this was someone who had given me business advice in the past. He has great business instincts and always had insights to share, even if the delivery was on the harsh, insensitive side. He's also a very wealthy guy, and after he heard about my dilemma, he offered to buy out my business partner. Now, I need to emphasize this. This friend was my go-to for advice. Never once had I asked him for money, and I wasn't about to do it now. Thank you, but no, I couldn't. I won't. Then he asked me how much I paid myself over the last year as he proceeds to remove his watch. He looked at me and asked, "Do you know what half of your salary sounds like when it hits the floor?" And I was like, I said, no, I don't think I do. Not sure where he was going with this story. Next thing I know, he flung his watch in the air and it landed on the floor with a heavy, expensive sounding thud. He looked at me and he said, "That's what it sounds like." I was speechless, but I think the look on my face must have shown everything that I was feeling in that moment. The shock, the insult, the guilt, the anger, the shame. Guys, I'm not making this up. This is a real person. I know him. He's known for speaking his mind and doesn't care if it offends people. Sometimes offending people even seems like it's his goal. He's not shy about telling you about his high-end Ferrari or Lamborghini or Porsche or whatever a car is, his expensive suit hanging in his bedroom-sized closet or his collection of fancy watches, and he gets a kick out of being referred to as the humble one. So you kind of get the picture. Anyway, you can imagine how I felt at that moment. This guy with so much money was deceiving me into thinking he was my friend, so he could turn around and snatch my business out from under my feet so he could have his own marketing agency for his businesses. So here I was, pouring my heart out, trying to decide whether to sell my portion of my business to a business partner or if I should make an offer instead and figure out how to find the money I didn't have. And now I was facing another hostile takeover and from my so-called friend. So there I was, staring at a $25,000 or something watch on the floor and halfway expecting him to make me pick it up for him. How rude and arrogant and insensitive. Just kicking the little guy while he's down and flaunting his wealth. How could he be so indifferent to my pain and the fact that I was being so vulnerable? I was justified in my anger. He was being cruel, right? Little did I know that I had it all wrong. A rude awakening was about to hit me like an avalanche. It took a minute for the emotions to settle, but I realized his gesture wasn't about arrogance at all. He was showing me in a tangible way that he wanted to help me, and that helping me wasn't a burden for him. In fact, the amount that he was offering was trivial to him, and throwing his watch on the floor was a move to break down past my defenses. After previewing the first draft of this video, my alleged friend reminded me that he even offered to take a smaller share of the business than what my previous partner owned. He wasn't out to take my business at all. In fact, he was ready to give me the majority stake. When he threw half of my yearly salary on the floor, he took a wrecking ball to the brick wall of pride that I'd built around myself to protect my fragile ego. He was demolishing the victim story that was playing in my head that I'd been carrying around for I don't know how long. His act was very intentional, but it wasn't malicious. It was harsh, but not uncharitable. It hurt because the truth often does. It wasn't nice, but it was kind. And actually, it was the kindest thing that anyone could have done for me in that moment. The truth was, I needed help, but my pride wouldn't allow me to ask for it, even though it was going to end up hurting my family. And he saw that. He also saw that I needed to understand how little it would affect his life if he lost his investment in 8 Signal. But he knew that for me, hearing his point wasn't enough. I needed to feel it too. I realized that the problem wasn't his behavior, but my inability to accept help because of my pride. I was an arrogant, self-absorbed jerk who wasn't taking responsibility for my employees and, more importantly, for my wife and kids. He gave me a bold lesson designed to confront my ego, and it took a metaphorical sledgehammer to beat that lesson into my head. It caused me to face my insecurities, my false sense of humility, and my inflated but fragile ego. And all I was doing was projecting myself on him, labeling him with all the cactus-shaped stickers glued all over my face. You see, one of us was being arrogant and uncaring, but it wasn't him. He actually gave me a caring push in the right direction, looking out for my family's well-being more than I was. He believed in me. He saw that I was holding myself back, but I couldn't admit it or even see it at the time. Not to get all churchy, but there's a story about a crippled man whose friends dragged him up the roof and lowered him down a hole to get him close to Jesus so that he could be healed. I was just like that man. His lesson was just a pivotal moment in my life, and it allowed me to move past my personal pride and grow as a person so I could grow my business and grow my relationship with my family. Because really, I'd been approaching my family the same way I'd been approaching my business. Tough love helped me confront my pride and accept guidance, and I'm stronger for it. This isn't to say that life is all rainbows and unicorns, except when you're checking off tasks in Asana. Heck, 2 years ago, I was tired of the grind and thought about shutting this whole thing down. But this experience allowed me to fight my dragons, and I'm still fighting them daily. But since buying out my former business partner, I'm mentally stronger and have been able to face new challenges that would have ended me, where today I have more resilience to take on those challenges. So I went from seeing his actions as arrogant to realizing it was a much needed wake-up call. Some people still see my friend as an arrogant bastard, but hey, maybe they're just projecting themselves when they think that about him. I know that I was doing that, and I'm a better person because of that wake-up call. Okay, this is the last time I'll interrupt. I want you to know that the story doesn't end there. I'm still friends with this one-of-a-kind guy, and I have lots of stories and lessons to share. In the years since the expensive watch incident, we've invested in another business together, and we still need to talk about business and annoy the crap out of each other. In fact, I made up the whole lawsuit thing, hoping it would annoy him. I know he loves me. He knows I love him. And he said he'll buy me the same expensive watch when we reach a revenue milestone. But it's not like that. I know what you're thinking. Okay, back to the story. So have you ever misguided someone's actions, then realized later that they gave you the exact lesson that you needed? Honestly, I don't really know why I'm sharing this story other than I really felt a strong sense that it needed to be told. So here I am sharing it, and here you are listening to it. By the way, why did you listen to it all the way to the end? There's literally a million other videos you could be watching right now. Maybe you needed a reminder to not let pride get in the way of progress. Or maybe it's time to look in the mirror to face your own dragons or cactuses. Whatever the reason, thank you for watching, and I hope this video has planted the seed to help you become not the person you want to be, but the person you're meant to be. Take it from someone who's learned the hard way. The truth can be painful, and great lessons can come from unexpected sources. But humility is the key to real progress. If this story resonates with you, drop a note in the comment section or share this video with whoever came to mind while you're watching. And finally, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the flip side.